Yo, 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 what is going on, Patriot peeps? It is your full-time scientist, full-time sportsman, and right now one of the happiest men in the entire world, including all the players on the Patriots roster, Soor here with my longtime co-host and father of Patriots Nation, Aiden Hauser. With the Patriots fresh off a 16-3 win, an authoritative win, first playoff win in almost 7 years to advance to the divisional round. How are we feeling?
Feels awesome, man. It wasn't a perfect game, but just to win a playoff game is just it's crazy. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. Um, honestly, getting the playoffs is such a big milestone just after the small rebuild we've had. But to win one against a good team is it's awesome. It feels great.
Yeah, and to be able to do it at home because we won the division, it's a little extra special because well, I'm not going to say the fans have been going through it because that's kind of disrespectful to a lot of franchises around the NFL. But you know, a fan base that has been used to a different level of success all of a sudden um, went to seeing a few years of really bad football, and this this was a complete performance on both sides.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's I think we have a new I think there's I don't want to say dynasty yet, but there's a lot to just build off of this team. Just in the contracts that we have. I mean, we have the flexibility to really build around Drake just with him being on his rookie deal still. Um, and I mean, I'm just it looks like Vrabel's probably going to be here to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have all the foundations right for a
Yeah,
contending team for years to come. You've got the coach, you've got the quarterback, you've got a decent crop of weapons. I think we can get even better there, but I think you've got a good group. And then on top of that, you have you're covered on the trenches more than you have been before,
yeah.
like on the defensive and offensive front. So definitely a recipe for the future. But we don't need to talk about the future. We're still in it now, and so let's get straight into it. Let's break down this game. We're gonna start critical because I wanna get positive soon. We're gonna kind of blow through these downs and then immediately move on to the ups. Um, I'll go first this time since I had you go first last time. My first down, I'm gonna say the left side of the offensive line, mostly Will Campbell. I mean, I know he's coming off injury, and I think he's gonna get better as the playoffs roll around. But both Owe and Tart really had their way with with that side. I mean, I do attribute those fumbles partially to Drake May, but I also there was also a lot of penetration and in general that left side really bottlenecked the amount of time he had to throw the ball. He had to make really quick decisions, and I thought he did a nice job of doing that. But to beat some of these teams that we're going to have to face down the line, we're going to have more time for our quarterback. Um, and so we need to see more. We need to see more solid play on the left line, even if it's just a matter of buying an extra couple of seconds and just having slightly cleaner technique or just very slightly quicker reflexes. And these are things that'll hopefully get polished as he gets back into the swing of things. But definitely not an acceptable level of play on that side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit worse than honestly than what we had seen from Vidarian Lowe, but I expect it to get better.
My down, I'm just gonna say the Patriots receivers as a whole. I mean, Booty had a couple of good grabs, but we still don't have that alpha. I don't think it's necessarily the biggest deal, but when we're gonna be playing against some of these teams who have really just well coached defenses, these elite players, to have that guy who we can rely on in late games is pretty crucial. And I mean, Diggs has been awesome, but he hasn't proven to be the actual alpha game changer that he once was. Which would be scary when it's when we need a game winning drive, it's who's going to be the guy that we can rely on. I think Henry can be that guy. He's had a couple of drops, but I mean, like he's human. They all are. But
Yeah.
like, who's the go-to like guy? Like, all right, like Drake's going down the field. Like, I don't know. Stafford has Puka. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
and there are times where I was like, what, there was that really good moment from Cal Williams early in the game. Given his downfield ability, why didn't we try to go his way a little bit more
Or
often?
Chisholm had a big play. Like a lot of the guys each had like a really big, significant play, but there wasn't like anyone that I can remember that really, aside from Ramondre, that really
Right.
strung together like consistent, like clutch chain movers.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's Diggs has the ability to do that. We've seen him take command of games at times this season, but what we haven't seen is him do it game in and game out yet.
Mhm.
And this was one of those games where it would have been really useful to have a Stephon Diggs game because Drake May was struggling a little bit in the passing game.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. So second down, um, I'm gonna say the turnovers for May. Um, I I'm also probably gonna have May in my ups as well. I think he did a really good job kind of coming back from things. I think overall he had a really gutsy game, but for me the one lingering, he's done a really good job limiting kind of errant throws that are putting the team in danger. The interception was not ideal, but it was also a tipped ball. But the strip sacks are, it's one of those things that continues to be a lingering issue for him. He just has this tendency every so often to not give up on the play when he should, and it's a testament to his toughness, but it's also a testament to his youth, and he's just got to kind of develop that instinct to go down at times when he needs to, especially when you're in plus territory and you have a chance to put up points regardless of what happens with the play. The one thing you can't do is turn the ball over.
Mhm.
And obviously there was the one that actually resulted in a turnover, and then there was the other one that almost resulted in a scoop and score, if not for an extremely heads up play by Jared Wilson. And in an alternate playing out of this game, that play could have lost us the game. So, the turnover, it's pretty obvious. Turnover battle is extremely important, and you got to secure the ball better than that. And then the other thing was that he made some really impressive throws on a rope and throws under pressure in big moments, but at the same time, he also missed some really easy throws. The one to Hooper being the most obvious one. Hooper was wide open and Drake kind of airmailed it, but there were a few others where I was just, it wasn't the accuracy we've seen from him most of the year, even though there were some really nice throws in there.
Right. Right. One sec. Just pull something up. Okay. So for I guess my second down, I don't think he played like a horrible game. It didn't look like he had a ton of snaps, but I'm just gonna say Travion Henderson. Um, as like a loose down. I mean, I guess he had 9 carries, 27 yards, and he had a couple catches, but he's kind of still just being I'm going to take the handoff and either going to get 50 yards or I'm going to get tackled right at the line. Um, like he didn't really have any big gains until kind of the last few carries towards the end of the game, which really sealed it. But I'd like to just see him just get a little stronger and just not go down on first contact. Luckily, we had Ramondre just kind of be up there in the middle, who was just kind of just dragging guys along. And even I get like I don't think like Henderson was never really that guy in college, anyways. He was more of just the speed guy. But like you would still expect like him to break a tackle here and then instead of just being taken on first contact every time. So I mean, he didn't really have any explosive plays, and I don't think our offense did really, other than like the big booty catch and then the touchdown, obviously. So I think just Travion and I guess kind of mix it with the lack of just explosive plays altogether, which we've been pretty good at throughout the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I was expecting Henderson to make more of an imprint on this game, um, and I continue to be slightly disappointed by the fact that we haven't been using him that much in the pass catching game, or maybe he hasn't been establishing himself in the pass catching game. But we know from his college days that he is actually an adept route runner, and we obviously his quickness um, goes without saying. So it would be nice to see more of that, and it would have been nice to see a little bit more of an attempt to. And I think this is partially on the play calling. You know, we didn't see the kind of attempts that we've seen in the past to kind of give him space. It would have been nice to see some more pitches, some more um, gadget plays, the kinds of things that we know Henderson will be able to get kind of ahead of steam going, and then obviously we know what happens from there.
Mhm.
Let's see. It's actually kind of high. It's actually kind of hard to find a third down
Mhm.
because while like I think there were some aspects of this game that were glaringly bad that almost cost. Well, not really almost cost us the game, but made things more precarious than necessary. I didn't think there were that many aspects that were. I think most aspects of the team, most dimensions of the game, I think we had in pretty good shape. But I think there were times where I felt like it felt like Herbert could always use his legs to bail the team out in precarious situations. And in general, we did a good job not letting them make us pay for blitzing, but definitely could have done a better job covering the rush there, especially since we were playing such tight man coverage. Um, we could have been even more authoritative in clamping that option
Sure.
because yes, we only allowed 3 points, but they did get a couple drives, especially in the first half, and of course late in garbage time. Um, but there was a point in the game where early on where I thought that Herbert was going to be able to take it with his legs. Luckily, I think we kind of adjusted, so I'm that's why this is a soft down. Um, but I do think that there are a lot of running quarterbacks left, ones that are frankly better than Justin Herbert is. Um, we might face we might face one of them um, in a couple of weeks if we make it to the AFC Championship.
Luckily, we get a break next round.
Yeah, two pocket passers are the options. I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, that has its own challenges, obviously.
Right.
Like Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great, and CJ Stroud has really picked up his level. But it'll be nice to not have to worry about at least not worry too much about the threat of running quarterback. But
Sure.
tons of them left on the other side of the coin as well. So
Right.
definitely something we have to continue to monitor.
Is this the third and final down?
Third and final down.
Okay, I'm just gonna say injuries. I mean, Gonzo left the game at the towards the end. That's bad, and that's kind of when they started to really pick up the passing offense. Granted, it wasn't like, oh man, they're killing us, but like we're actually completing passes because they weren't able to play man coverage anymore just because he was out. Um, and then I mean, again, we keep saying like I don't know if we've ever mentioned in the pod, but just in talking outside of it, but like it's crazy to think how big of a void the injury of Matt Collins leaves. He's not a superstar by any mean, but like the guy just does everything right and catches everything. And I know there's probably a couple plays where it would have been nice just to kind of loft the ball up to him and let him kind of make a play on something. Um, so assuming that we can win this next game, it's gonna be good to have him back still this season.
Yeah,
And I mean,
absolutely.
hopefully Gonzo's not too hurt that he has to miss next week either, because that's gonna be like huge, depending on if we're playing against DK or Nico. Like we
And
need him.
especially because he actually had a really fantastic game.
Yeah.
Um, it you could see I could definitely feel the absence of Matt Collins. I could feel at times I thought our interior defensive line played generally well, but I could still feel the impact Kyra Songa also not being there.
Right.
It would be great to have him next week. I think that can really shore up that interior defensive line even more. And of course, Hollins potentially could be available. I mean, theoretically can be available as soon as the AFC Championship.
Right.
I don't want him to overdo it. I don't want him to push himself more than necessary. I think he's a important piece for the Patriots for years to come potentially. So, but that's another player that we could potentially see back. At the same time, we saw the impact that Milton Williams had, and so it was so nice to have players back from injury. And it's going to be nice to see Will Campbell kind of get more into the swing of things and hopefully improve, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
That's enough of that, though. We won 16-3. This was a authoritative win that, I'd say relatively dominating, even though we took our time in icing it. So let's get to the positives.
Can I start first this time?
Go for it.
I won't take your guy, but I'm just gonna. Ramondre's been awesome. Ever since being in the doghouse, and like I admit I was just like, what are we doing with him? Like, bench him. We need Henderson. What is Vrabel doing? Apparently Vrabel knows more than us, because like the last few weeks he's been on a heater. And I mean, so he had 53 rushing yards, and he was our leading receiver today. But I don't know, he's just getting chunk plays. He catches just about everything, and like for being a big guy, he just makes people miss. And then I think the most important thing is like, knock on wood, the guy hasn't fumbled. Like, it's been a long time since he's fumbled. So I mean, I don't know. He's been awesome. He's been like a true like actual weapon that we can rely on, and like a perfect complement to Henderson at this point, of just like, we got the speed guy, we got the power guy. Like, one guy's not working well, it's like chances are the other guy is going to be able to. So like, we've both seen them be used in different ways in different games, which is like awesome.
Yeah. And I think some of the credit definitely has to go to Mike Vrabel for this is frankly one of those areas where I'm gonna say that this is an area where Mike Vrabel kind of has the edge over Bill Belichick, where Belichick would have benched Ramondre instantly, and we would not have seen what Ramondre can do. Vrabel put his faith in his struggling running back at the time. I think 2 fumbles in that Pittsburgh game. It was rock bottom. He put his faith in him, kept giving him reps. As soon as he got healthy from his injury, kept putting him in the game, even though Henderson was playing well, kept showing his faith, showed up in a big way. I mean, yeah, the power, as you mentioned, but the speed has been underrated. I mean, he has been difficult to catch when he breaks out. The arm tackles were completely useless against him today. He was chugging through everything, and the pass catching has gone up another level, I feel like, this season. He runs routes and has the hands of a receiver.
Yeah, he's been great. He's back to like prime Ramondre, when we were like, oh, why isn't he the lead guy? Like, I'm not saying that he's like a top 10 running back, but like he's back to playing how like we remember him playing when he was playing well. No, he's not a shell of Ramondre right now.
This is the Ramondre that we were saying a few years ago, should be the number 1 back over Damien Harris, for instance, right?
Right.
And but I also think he's gone up a level. I feel like he's taken his adversity and really channeled it into some really good football. And obviously, I like their synergy. I like the way that they function as a platoon. But I think Mondre's embraced the challenge of having a capable guy right behind him, and kind of used his pass catching to say like, hey, here's something I can do right now that you haven't established as a weapon. And yeah, I mean, the commentators were all over it tonight. That just talking about how his instincts, his abilities in the pass catching game are reminiscent of a receiver. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was their best receiver tonight, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Let's see where to begin. I'm going to say coverage in general. I was first going to say just Gonzo, but that feels like a disservice to everybody else. I mean, Gonzo did an incredible job. This was by far his best game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Came very close to an interception, but was just a disruptor. He created no opportunities for a pretty good Chargers receiving team. That's a good set of weapons that they've got there, and they really weren't able to make it count. Davis did a great job. Yes, he had the one pass interference, but generally stayed close. Got in there, made life difficult. Marcus Jones continues to show himself as a capable cornerback 3, and we didn't really have to use Alex Austin, but if we need to, he's there.
Mm-hmm.
If obviously it would be a huge loss if Gonzo isn't able to play, but we've got another capable cornerback kind of there, and if Gonzo isn't there, of course, we'd maybe have to switch out a man and play more zone. Hopefully Gonzo is there and we don't have to worry about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel more confident than I have in a long time about generally the depth of that cornerback unit.
Well, yeah, like it's like you said, like they didn't really surrender any big plays, but we played really clean football. Like there were 2 penalties, and like only one was on pass interference, which was like I don't know. They were both getting pretty handsy. Like I see why it was called, but
yeah, that was debatable.
Yeah,
it's true. And the
but
one
I
they
mean,
almost called the play before was not debatable. That was not even close.
Right. I'm gonna kind of go into my up with that, and I'm just gonna say red zone defense. That's been such an issue all season, where it's like, oh, we're in the red zone, just here comes the touchdown, and I was sitting there for a moment, just let them score, and just so we can get the ball back. And like off of that May pick, we had a goal line stand essentially, and they went 4 and 4 and didn't score, and like so I mean the fact that we held like yeah, the Chargers have struggled, and everyone wants to be like, yeah, the O line's horrible, but like this is still a team that made the playoffs, and they beat some dang good teams. So it's like they're not just randomly just this bad team that's injury riddled. Like while they're still a good team, is what I'm saying. Even with all the issues, they made it here for a reason. So for us to like hold a good team with like a Justin Herbert led team to 3 points and not surrender a touchdown like off of a turnover right in the red zone is like pretty remarkable when you take into consideration how bad we were in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean the Chargers did win 4 out of their last 5 games with Justin Herbert playing. The Broncos game I'm not counting because that was a Trey Lance game, but they came in relatively good form,
Right.
And yeah, this is the with all the things that people say about our strength of schedule, despite all that, we were still by far the worst red zone defense in the entire league in the regular season. And we go from that to a critical goal line stand, then holding them again to 3. And I definitely felt that that was a play that I think they would normally go for 4th there. And Harbaugh didn't trust that they could get it done against that red zone defense. The fact that we were able to kind of instill that fear and make them put out their field goal unit there was big.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was just a complete performance, because there have been so many games where I felt the defense had played well except for in the red zone, but finally, this is a complete all hands on deck,
right,
at all times kind of performance from the defense. And so definitely something to build on. This is one of those things where confidence is everything. And now now Mike Vrabel and Zach Kerr can both feel confident that they've got a go-to strategy in that part of the field. And so that's big. they should feel very pleased with how they played in that end. So that's great choice there. We're on the second up, right?
You are, yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna double dip. I said him. I put him as a down, and I'm gonna put him as an up. Drake May. Talk about resilience, right? You throw an interception. Your team pulls through, but you get the ball on the 2, and then the Patriots go drive almost all the way down the field, immediately take the lead. After the strip sack, he again drives down the field, and we settle for 3. But then the next drive, he goes and scores. I felt like he took his bad moments of the game in stride. And when the arm wasn't quite working for him, he got it done with his legs. I think I had been saying before the game that's a wrinkle that we need to start pulling out, the design run. And he had a little bit of both. He had some good design runs, and he had some great scrambles. Overall, I think he did a phenomenal job as a rusher. I think he made some really intelligent plays there, but also made some really nice throws. And we talked about the lack of kind of a big weapon in this game, but at the same time, you can also look at the stat sheet and talk about how much he spread the ball around. For me, it's always been one of May's biggest strengths, his ability to. It's something that reminds me a lot of Tom Brady, actually. That was one of Brady's specialties. He would get it to everybody. And in May's case, he got it to Diggs, of course, but then he also got it to Booty. He got it to Kyle Williams. He got it to Mondre. He got it to Henry. He got it to Jack Westover. He used every offensive position that there is that can possibly catch the ball and had them catch the ball. And it's one of those things that makes defenses wary, because now you just have such a wide-ranged attack axis. There's no player on the field that Drake May can't use and isn't comfortable with using. I mean, Westover had 1 catch in the entire regular season for -1 yards, yet May felt comfortable going to him in a critical situation in the playoffs. Kyle Williams had 10 catches in the regular season and had a critical conversion early in the game. And so the fact that he has that confidence to go to anybody at any time is big.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought, and I loved that every time they panned over to him on camera, he was looking at his film.
And he's never pouting either.
Yeah.
Which is like another huge thing of like a young quarterback would be pouting or just like being just like, he never looks flustered. He just goes, figures it out, and comes back out. And I don't know. It seems like he forgets about the previous possession. Like each possession is just a new thing. Like you can't really rattle him.
Yeah, fully agreed.
My final up, we really touched a lot on the defense because I think that's where most of our, magic really happened. But like, I'm just gonna say the defensive. Did you say the defensive line yet?
No.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we touched on that, but just the defensive line, and I guess the linebackers as well, and just generating pressure. It's been great to have Milton Williams back, even when he is not like actually. I don't know, just in the middle of the play or providing pressure. People are still just focusing on him. Like the fact that he's just a significant player just means like you got a game plan against him. But like he had a huge sack on Herbert. The edges all look great. You say we had Anthony.
Anthony Jennings.
Anthony Jennings was back. Yeah, which was wild. I forgot he was on the roster. But there were just a lot of just bone crushing hits. Like our edges like looked awesome. Like the pass rush that like I thought it was gonna be an interesting matchup just because like we kind of have weak pass rushers, but their offensive line was pretty weak. I thought it was gonna be kind of a wash there, but it proved to not be the case, and we really gave them a lot of fits. But it was awesome just to like see our trenches kind of win something for us, because I think like it's been a while this season, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off that and just say I thought in general, um, this was an extremely well coached game. I'm just gonna give a shout out to all of the coaching. I thought um, there were a lot of really good adjustments because I think early on in the game we were kind of hanging back and trying to avoid the big play, not being aggressive. Once we kind of realized the mismatch we had, we went more towards blitz, but then also played tight man coverage, trusted our cornerbacks, and they got the job done. So really good defensive play calling by Zach Kerr and Mike Vrabel. But then also on the offensive end of things, there was a nice kind of ratio of run and pass. And I mean, we had exactly as many passes as runs if you count Drake May's runs, or one more pass because Efton Chisholm's pass, but we don't talk about that. With the exception of that play call, which made no sense in that moment. I thought the offense was a balanced play call. We got the quarterback running game in there. It was a nice response to the fact that the passing game wasn't going very well, but it's also a wrinkle that I think we should just keep introducing in the playoffs because May's clearly a pretty fast and strong guy, very difficult to take down. So why not take advantage of that?
Right.
And he had play designs that were, I credit Drake for using all of his weapons, but I also credit Josh McDaniels for designing plays geared towards all of his weapons. And there's kind of this mutual trust between Drake May and Josh McDaniels that Josh McDaniels believes that Drake May can execute any play, and May believes that McDaniels has the right play call in mind, and then Vrabel kind of managing big picture and making sure that the team is making the right adjustments at the right times. Because slowly but surely, different units of the team just kept getting better and better and better. And this is I think you take these exact same players and you take last year's coaching staff, and we lose this game 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the coaching staff, like the change from just culture wise, like not even just knowledge, but culture wise, from Mayo to Vrabel is huge. Just getting McDaniels back is just awesome. Like, I don't know. He's just the guy that we've had just in the glory days, and just like him coming back, I think everyone knew what was coming. I hope he doesn't leave. Just like Kerr's been awesome, just as the defensive play caller. Like, I think, I completely agree that the coaches are just there's no way we would have won this game with the coaches last year. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that we have been able to withstand not having Terrell Williams all year is a testament to how good of a job that Kerr has done, but also how good of a foundation defensively that Vrabel sets. It would be really great next year if we can have both of them. Maybe I think Kerr has done what he needs to kind of earn at least a co-defensive coordinator position. And then you add the talents and experience of Terrell Williams, and I think that can be even more powerful. But yeah, there's more resilience, there's more harmony in this coaching staff. The decisions just make sense. You're making use of everything that you have. And like I said, again, I just think that this exact same player base with last year's coaching staff would have lost this game pretty badly, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We
probably wouldn't have been in this situation.
That's also
to be honest.
And I mean, you look at the improvements from Drake May from last year to this year. A lot of that's him, but a lot of that's also the coaching staff. McDaniels has made a big difference. The offensive line playing more harmoniously. That's that's a Doug Marone thing. So it's just been continuous improvement across the board in so many different areas. And this is Jets. I meant Chargers. There we go. Now we're almost. Oh, we're not going to talk about this too much because it is. It's late. It's almost midnight. We're in Eastern time. It's almost 11 in Central time. But I wanted to quickly talk about the scenarios for next week. Buffalo winning, it was kind of a blessing in disguise for New England because we no longer have to face Jacksonville. Buffalo and Denver are welcome to go at it and rough each other up as much as they want. But the scenario changes for us now. Instead of hosting Jacksonville, we host the winner of Monday night's Steelers-Texans game. What are your thoughts on this matchup, and who would you rather play?
I think the matchup, it's going to be interesting because we got I don't even know. Just you have the old boring team in Pittsburgh, they're just really not fun to watch, but they just make it because they won the division. And then you kind of have this, are they good, are they not good team? This really good Houston defense with an offense who can make big plays, but is really kind of limited to what type of CJ Stroud play you get. So it's you're either going to get an awesome CJ Stroud or Stroud's going to throw 2 picks and just look completely lost. If I were to pick, I'd rather have Pittsburgh win. I think Houston's defense is phenomenal. You could argue it's better than Denver's. It's right up there. Just with Stingley, just being a beast. Anderson, just a phenomenal edge rusher, and then I don't know, Alshire as the linebackers as one of them. There's just a lot of good players on that defense. But I think just for the sake of having a rematch of week 3, I believe, it would be nice to play Pittsburgh. And I just think Houston's just a way more solid team. I don't think really Pittsburgh scares me near as much as Houston, just with the kind of explosiveness and defensive studs that they have.
Yeah, and I worry with Houston, just that I worry about the matchup between Will Anderson and the left side of our offensive line. Yeah, but Houston also just they have a lot of they have Daniel Hunter as well. I mean, you go down that entire depth chart and it's solid players. That being said, I do think Indianapolis kind of exposed them a little bit. There's a good blueprint now. Riley Leonard had a day for sure against that Texans defense.
That's true.
It's not an unstoppable defense. I would say they're on a similar level to the Chargers defense that we played today, to be honest. Because that was a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Pittsburgh is obviously you can never count out Aaron Rodgers when it comes to the playoffs, right? So there's obviously that threat that's there. They've got some good weapons. They obviously know how to get turnovers against us. I would like to think that this is a much different New England team, and I want revenge for that game. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I want Pittsburgh to win, not because I think it'll be easier, but because I want revenge for that game. I think they're both beatable teams. The Texans' offense has generally been pedestrian this year. Stroud has at times looked like the breakout quarterback he was last year, but then at times has kind of been on the disappointing side. Mm-hmm. I don't think he poses an exceptionally amazing threat. We already talked about the fact that it's going to be, it's going to be much more of a traditional pocket passer threat, which will be a nice change of pace from what we've had to deal with in the latter end of the season. But obviously, I think these are two teams that have earn their way here, and more importantly, are in the Texans at least are pretty red hot. So I think that would be a tough matchup, but I would say a significantly easier matchup than Jacksonville would have been.
Right.
I think a lot of this comes down to how we play from week to week. If we're as porous on the left side as we were today, Houston will be able to have their way with us. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think we'll adjust. I think we'll figure out what went wrong, and hopefully Will Campbell will get healthier and better. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting game tomorrow. Opportunity to see both of these teams kind of in the biggest of stakes. Hopefully they play a very physically grueling overtime game that really expends a lot of energy and
5 overtimes.
5, yes, exactly. 5 overtimes, a lot of physicality, a lot of tackles.
Emotional damage, just mean words being said that they get really sad about.
Yeah. Maybe a fight that results in a few suspensions. I'm not going to root for injuries, but I will root for ejections.
Yeah, like a suspension for like all 11 players on the offense.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
But regardless, you've got to think, regardless of which of these two teams you play, you've got to think that you've got to come into that game feeling pretty good about the Patriots' chances given the kind of complete performance that they gave tonight. The whole time I felt like we were playing terribly, yet we never trailed in this game. It was really never in doubt other than the moment right after Drake May's interception. That was the only part at which there was a significant part of me that thought that thought we were going to lose that game. It just felt like we were in control. We dominated the defensive line of scrimmage. We did okay on the offensive line of scrimmage, except for the left side. And then, of course, had a balanced game going on all fronts. So overall, really well done. Big moment for the team. I think there were a lot of nerves going around in this game. Drake May did look nervous. I think it's a big thing for him to have that first playoff game under his belt and have it be a win.
Right.
It's a big step. It's a big mountain to climb there. He's leapfrogged plenty of quarterbacks his age or older that have not gotten there yet.
Yeah, all things considered, he did play well for like his first playoff game.
Yeah, and especially I feel like you see players start similarly in their first playoff start and let the occasion then get the best of him. The fact that Drake May was able to take those mistakes in stride and continue to kind of get up. He's mature beyond his years for sure.
Absolutely.
And I'm definitely predicting a better performance for him next week.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, he didn't play a horrible game, but like if he turns down the picks or the pick and the fumble and 2 touchdowns, like I don't think that's a crazy expectation.
Right. And we're when we decided to do this instant reaction, we were just praying and hoping that we'd be in a good mood and talking about a game rather than talking about an off season, and that's exactly what we were doing. And we'll be here next week, hopefully talking about another Patriots win. We'll see you hopefully in the AFC Championship, Patriots Nation.
Be awesome.